Guys, we have a true fucking star for you today.
We
My
really do.
my best friend of like 20 years. I've honestly lost count. We just say 20 now. Hayley Johnson. I think you guys are gonna love her. Caroline, what do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard a lot about Hayley through Nina through the years, and I was just so happy to finally meet her today, and I can't wait to hang out with her. She's a stud. She is just like the funniest, coolest, clearly very resilient, um, brave, just like all the amazing things. And it was just cool to hear little pieces of her story and about her main hobby, which is woodworking, which is fucking cool and just kind of re-inspired me. I mean, we've been talking on here about a lot of things, but it's just like such a reminder about the healing nature of doing something you love and using your hands and your creativity, like without being so result driven, which is just like something I needed to hear. And yeah, it's a really great, really good episode and just so many good little nuggets in there.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with her, always have been. I mean, we get into
Mm-hmm.
the story of how we met when we were younger, and then also hit on like a big point in her life where she dealt with a lot of grief, which actually was the catalyst of getting into um, this hobby of woodworking. So we touch on that as well. So it is a little deep, but very soul filling, and I really hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah, so good. Stick around.
Stick around. Also, if you see my face blurry multiple times during this episode, no, you didn't.
Yeah,
Just
that's
having a little,
not, no,
yeah,
that's
that's
just
actually
you.
not happening. So get your eyes checked, and
You'll just
we'll
have to
see you.
look at me.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next one. We love you guys.
Love
Enjoy.
you.
Welcome back, people.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello, hello. We are joined today by the one, the only, my very best friend of 20 years, the infamous Hayley Johnson.
Woo! Welcome,
Hello.
Hayley.
Thank you. I am so stoked to be here.
Are you
I
one
fe-
of our number one fans?
I will say, I think yes. You guys were number 4 on my podcast and my Spotify Wrapped, but I think it's only because you didn't do the whole year last year.
Yeah, we
So
only
I
had
think
20
it would have been different.
episodes.
Yeah. But I did listen to every single one
Yes, you are.
every week. And
Yeah,
so did
it's
Will,
an honor.
whether that was against his will
No
or not.
way.
Shout out, Will.
I love that. I love that.
I love that too.
So we do have a male listener. Our first,
You do.
we
You
had
do.
our last episode. We were joking around. We were like saying a lot of femme crazy stuff. So we were like, jump off if you're listening,
No, he
Or learn
loves
something.
it. I
or
will
learn
say,
something. Sit, take a seat.
I
How about you
can't
just sit down.
I'll have to go look at his Spotify. I cannot say that he's ever gone willingly and listened.
That's fair.
But I've played it out loud a lot. And I remember him like poking his head in one day and he was like, "Is that Nina?" And I was like, "Yeah, and Caroline." He was like, "She sounds really good." I was like, "Yeah, no, they're crushing it."
Word,
Oh
I
my God,
love
I
it.
love it.
I love it. Okay, Hales, you have been my best friend for 20 years.
Yeah,
You have
isn't that
literally
crazy?
seen me. We've seen each other through the highs and the lows of life. And every time I start a project, Hayley is always like my number one supporter and vice versa. And I just want to get into a little bit of the backstory of how we met and what started this unbelievable journey of friendship. Because, I mean, listeners, they know, Caroline, your long-term friends, like the people that know you through the awkward years, like through the early stages of life and have like kind of seen you through different phases are really the people that are going to see it with you till the end. Like that
Yeah.
is the biggest blessing life can give you is someone like Hayley or someone that's just been around forever. Yeah. So I don't know, Hales, take it away. Take it away
Oh,
on some
man.
backstory. And I
You
can chime
know,
in.
I was thinking about this earlier today because the way that we met, I mean, was the most hilarious, like meet cute for the 90s sitcom movie of like, what was it? Was it the 6th or 8th grade? I think it might have been the 6th.
6th grade. Yep.
And I wasn't necessarily a loner in the sense where like I didn't have friends. I just did my own thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't that connected. I had the parents that I had. And so they were fairly negligent. They did not know what was going on with the school. I was not connected with friends. So I show up to school one day in what I thought was a normal outfit, right? Jeans and just a blue t-shirt. I also have and still do always loved sour candy. And so on my way to school, I thought, what better breakfast than a blue warhead?
I
like
love
those
kids like this.
giant, like the like sour candy that ruins your life, like the blue warhead.
It's
so
torture.
Oh, my mouth just made a weird feeling thinking
yeah,
about
no, and same. And I don't know what that says about me, but I'm on my way to school. I'm in my blue jeans, my blue shirt. I ate a blue warhead. My tongue is blue. My lips are blue. I walk into the cafeteria where you kind of hang out before school actually starts and then you go to class. Didn't realize we had a pep rally. For 6th grade, white was the color to wear. It was white. 8th graders were blue. So I show up as a 6th grader knowing literally nobody in a blue shirt, blue jeans, and at this point, my entire mouth is blue. My teeth are blue. My lips are blue. My tongue is blue. And I had never met Nina before in my entire life. And I'm just minding my own business. I walk into the cafeteria. I sit down at the table. Honestly, don't even notice that people are like color coded. I'm sitting with the rest of the 6th graders.
That you didn't even notice.
And Nina was like, hey, what's your name? And I was like, hey, I'm Hayley. And she goes, I think you need some help.
Oh,
and
that's the most Nina thing I've ever heard.
I looked up and I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, we have a pep rally day. I was like, oh, cool. What? Okay, that's fine. And she's like, no. You're wearing like so intensely the wrong colors. And I remember it was we either convinced the teachers to let us go then, or at some point in the day, Nina, we went.
I was on a mission. I made her wash out her mouth.
She literally made me go to the bathroom, rinse out my mouth. She took me to the locker room, gave me her gym T-shirt because they were like a light gray, turned inside out, and then. To be honest, after that, I don't remember the first time we like hung out outside of school. I don't remember any of that. We were just friends after that.
It's just such a telling of our personalities because I had my outfit picked out for probably the whole semester. Actually, this is like an end of semester thing. I've had my whiteout outfit picked out. I was like ready to go, and I just remember seeing her like walk in and head to toe blue, and I was like. Immediately talking to someone immediately was like, shut up. We got to figure this out right now. And I know I went to the teacher and was like, you have to let us back there. Like, do you see what we're working with? And Haley's like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, fine.
I don't even know there's pep rally.
Wait, Nina, isn't there Virgo in your chart?
Yes. Yeah, I'm a Virgo rising.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
shit
So
was
you were
on-
like,
shit-
colors off. She needs to know. Get her over here. Which is like, it is a really cute story though, because it's like, I think you're in 6th grade and it's like, it takes a certain type of like confidence to like take someone else in. Even if you didn't need to be brought in, it was just like a moment of like, I just think little kids are like, you're little at that point. You don't really, you're just focused on what's in front of you. So like, that's a cool story. And Hayley, I love how you didn't really give a fuck. You're just like, okay.
No.
Never.
Well, and it's
Either way, I'm
funny
good.
because I think it says so much about our personalities because like in that moment when I walked into school in the morning, I didn't give a damn. I did not care. I didn't know there was pep rally. I didn't care what I was wearing. But had I gone the whole day and at the end of the day gotten to that pep rally and been sitting with all of the 6th graders in a completely wrong color, I would have cared at that point.
Exactly.
You know, like I would have felt
and she was
really
thinking about that.
Yeah. And I can barely think 2 steps ahead of my own life. And I've kind of always been that way. So for her to just like show up and be like, hey, so this is an issue and we're going to fix it. It was cool. And then we got into, decades of shenanigans from that point on.
Were you guys always in the same schools?
Yeah.
From middle school,
same
high school,
schools
college.
and like attached at the hip. Because it was just the start of a beautiful friendship because Hayley's I don't give a fuck attitude plus her absolutely ability to be the most hilarious person I've ever met. Like my Virgo-ness, type A-ness, very girly, very this. Like it was just like a balancing act that happened there. And we did life together. We did like the hardest years of like our, young adult life together. And we were talking on the phone yesterday and I was like, we had these reoccurring phrases that we would say to each other, like kind of like little life catchphrases type things that now in hindsight looking back are so deep and so wise for like our little peanut brains.
No, genuinely profound. They weren't to us at the time. They were not. We were like, one was
But guys, this is that's how it goes though. Because when you're young, you're not like, you're just speaking
I mean, no, truly.
It makes
I mean,
more sense that you're because you're kind of free and you're not like inhibited by all these like overthinking things and ego. You're just kind of free. So it
Yeah.
kind of makes
Yeah.
sense that this like creative thinking, and that's like you read back at things you wrote when you're in high school or middle school and you're like, wow, like you're not just a little kid. You're like actually kind of deep and you're noticing everything and you're like
Totally.
wise. You're wise in a different way. It's not the same as like experience wise, but it's like an internal voice wise.
No, I agree. And like, I think it's funny to take us now and put us in the context of high school because we were so dumb. I mean,
Yeah, there's
God,
an idiot level
God, we
stuff.
were so
Truly,
dumb.
you try to be stupider than us. I dare you.
Like, I now think I'm going to be the world's strictest parent
Yes.
because of how we were as high schoolers. And look, I mean, we didn't hurt anybody except for maybe ourselves, but like
every day.
we did the dumbest shit. And now as an adult, I look back and like I get anxiety. I'm like, what was I thinking?
No,
And when
but
was
we were
like
we were these two little profound souls. Like we had a like I don't know if catchphrase is the right word, but like a phrase we would say all the time is you win some, you lose most. And it was like
Oh,
it was
true.
a constant.
we were just like,
yeah, like you get pulled over, you win some, you lose most. Keep it moving. Like it was like
Yeah.
just this vibe about it and it was an energy, and it was something that Hayley has the profound ability to do that we will get into, is that she controls her narrative. Like like the outside world is never going to be like, hey, here's your story. She's going to take whatever that is and then rewrite it in a way it's going to like make it work for her, and then put like some comedic relief and then repackage it and then come out on the top winning. Everything always works out. Like that has always been like the mantra of our young adult lives.
Fuck yeah. I love that.
it's so
Goodness.
true though. And I mean, I think I can relate that pep rally story to almost every single portion of my life, right? It's like I'm gonna just show up and
Figure it out when you get there.
yeah. And at the end of the day, had I gone to that pep rally in all blue, I would have figured it out. I would have made a joke about it. We would have moved on and nobody would remember it. But I show up to situations and there's people like Nina who are like, hey, I'm going to offer a helping hand. Do you want it? And yeah, perfect. But yeah.
Do you feel like do you attract people in your life like Nina? Do you think because of that?
Very much. I genuinely, I think the people that I'm closest with are so different from me. I think in terms of connecting with like whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship or even coworkers or like whatever it might be, I think there's a moral ground that you have to connect on in terms of what you think is just truly right and wrong. But other than that, I find myself gravitating towards I'm so type B. Like if there was a B premium, that is me. So like I am typically more attracted to type A friends, type A significant others. I have a pretty long fuse. It takes a lot to make me really mad. I kind of love friends that get mad easily or just worked up and passionate people. Like my fiance is a Virgo, you know, Nina, oh my gosh, what are you, a Taurus?
Sagittarius.
Yeah, but you don't
and
feel
then
like
Virgo.
a Taurus all the time.
No.
Cat's a Leo.
We love just like a fiery. I just love people that like are so about things.
Yeah.
And that's just always been like a constant, especially with like me, like Caroline too. Like we love like a crazy creative who was just gonna like go all in on something and like be a little bit out of the box and then like create something new. And you're like, oh my gosh, how the fuck did where'd that even come from?
Like strong personalities.
Totally.
And then I relate to you, Hayley, on the like it's weird because my personality is like I think my family thinks I'm type A, but I think I'm just type A in comparison to all of them. But really in the circles that I was like running in as a child and in high school and college, my friends like really had their shit together, like with commitment to like events and things and trips, and I'm sitting back being like the loser. I'm like, I can't commit to that. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I don't know where my suitcase is. I'm going to be late to my flight. Like they all think I'm type B because I am compared to them. So it's like such a scale. But I think I attracted that like structure in friends because I like my house was this like Looney Tune and we were all late in kind of a type B household. So it is like you attract kind of like the thing to help you balance it, I think, even at a really young age, because it's like, and you don't even know you're doing it. It just kind of happens, you know?
I'm going to use the lingo of this podcast. I think you just gave me such a download. Because
Download it up.
because you're
Download it
so
up.
right. And I
Right.
do. And I mean, I think you and I probably have a lot in common. And I think we should probably like hang out. I know you live across
Yeah.
the country, but
We will be.
same. I mean, my family life growing up was interesting to say the least. Interesting, leaning towards bad, but like good for the most part. But when I go home or went home, I was the type A, even as a child. I was the one to be like, hey, by the way, I need lunch tomorrow and I need X, Y, and Z. And
Yeah.
I have soccer practice at this time. And I was doing the calendar because I had my life. And, typically kids at that age have their life managed and I didn't. So I would do that at home. And then I would go meet people in social situations and make friends that were just naturally that way. And it was so comforting because I was like, oh, I can chill and I can
That's
relax.
right. Yeah, they're taking care of you.
Yeah. And it's a
Yeah.
balance because I think I've
never
definitely
even thought of it that way.
Well,
Yeah.
and you are always special, Nina, because I mean, I think now as in adulthood, you lean much more type A, but in high school, I don't know, like you were a weird middle.
I really just did my own thing. And then
Yeah.
I would feel type A, then rebel against it and like whatever. But like the rules were don't be a loser. You win some, you lose most. What was the other one?
Don't think, just do.
Don't
be a
think, just
loser.
Don't think, just do.
Don't think, just do is genius.
Is that
because
not
it is
profound for like 15-year-olds? Don't think,
it's
just
kind
do.
of it's kind of the trick to life. Like it can get you in trouble because you guys were saying it maybe at a point where you were doing
No, we were doing that and
debauchery?
then
Yeah.
breaking laws.
Yeah,
So-
we were
Right.
doing that in terms of misdemeanors.
and then
but I
committing
think
crimes.
now, but I think
But
now,
now
it is
we're
like,
all in our heads like, oh, do I go to the grocery store and then the gym and then my friend's house? Or do I do the gym first and then the grocery store and then my friend's house? Or do I really want to go out at all? I'm not sure. And then you shut down and you just want to stay at home. And it's like, what the fuck am I doing? And I
correct.
think as a kid, you don't have those. I mean, some kids are anxious and like have that overthinking thing. I probably was one of those kids. So I probably needed the saying so I would do more misdemeanor-y things. But I think, I mean, that's like Catholic school kids are just like,
They're
fucked up
sometimes
in the
worse,
head.
though. I don't know.
They are sometimes worse, but like then
We
there's the
fucked with
scared
them.
ones. I was
Yeah.
I was like scared of like whatever. But the saying now as an adult, that's where you take action from. So it's like you do just have to do because then otherwise you're stuck. You're so stuck.
Yeah.
So I'm liking these. I'm liking all three of these so far, especially don't be a loser.
And I've definitely used that. But that was my thing where it was like I wasn't type A, but I was like, don't be a loser. Like if you
Mhm.
are failing classes, then you
Just-
can't go hang out with your friends.
figure
and then
it out.
Your friends are going to go to college, and that's where the real party is. You got to get to
Mhm.
college. So like,
That's
don't be a
right.
loser
Yeah.
about it. And it was also, but like, don't be a loser about like don't be a bad friend. Don't be a loser. Don't, you know what I mean? Like it correlated to just these like aspects. So it's like we never dealt with like mean girls. Like Hayley and I have literally never had a fight. I mean, like it's literally just a conversation if there's a disagreement, but usually we're on the same page. So like it's just things like that like were deeply ingrained in us as young gals that I still lean on to this day. Like,
Mhm.
don't think, just do. That's how this podcast started to happen.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
don't be a loser. Like, that's how I put out a wallpaper line. Like, there's like these things there that like that show and that like come through. And I know that you're doing that in your life too, Hayley. And that is what I really want to get into because my girl Hayley is a woodworker.
I am.
I'm obsessed.
I
I'm
am
obsessed with this.
obsessed.
It's really
And she
fun.
made me the two most beautiful cutting boards I've ever seen in my life. They are my go-to charcuterie boards. Every time I use them, people are like, "Oh my God, where'd you get that from?" Because they're cool and they have like different tones of wood and they're just gorgeous. And you make all that stuff by hand. And that was like the main reason why I wanted to have you on here because Carol and I always talk about the idea of chasing something that you are interested in, even if there's no passion yet, just like something where you're like, I feel inclined to do this and don't think, just do. I need to do this right now. And it's
Yeah.
always like things that are like you do with your hands or you're using your voice or something along the lines of like creating a hobby for yourself, but really it's creating a space for you to explore a different part of yourself. And usually that is like a very, like, I don't know, it's heady to the point where you're finding out something new about yourself. But then also in a beginning, you suck at it, and then you have to like move through that, and you have to learn something. And it just falls in line with everything that we preach about on here and everything that we want to be about. So just tell us how you got into woodworking, because I just think this is the most badass thing fucking ever.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the line to me deciding to even do my first project is not straight by any means. It I mean, I think the easy explanation of like even how I got into it in the first place was I was going through a really horrific year. And it was the end of 2019. My grandma had passed away, which is sad for anyone in any regard who is close to their grandma. My grandma was very different for me. She raised me from when I was about 13 or 14 years old. She was my soft place to land in a lot of ways. She was probably to this day the only family member I've ever had that I truly felt like had my best interest in mind. And she made sure I had everything that I needed to be successful. So losing her was really awful. It was just, there's really no other word to describe it. It was awful. So that happened, and I was going through a lot of really intense grief. It didn't help that about a month and a half later, my boyfriend at the time broke up with me over FaceTime. Yeah, that was fun.
What an idiot.
Yeah, well, and
I have my thoughts.
Yeah, and you're allowed to. We have reconnected since. We are friends now. He grew up in Texas. He was dealing with some sexual identity things. He never got to be himself. He feels himself now. We're cool with it. It ended up working out just fine. But at the time, it was just fuel to the fire of
it was like another layer of your support system getting pulled out from under you.
Yeah, it was awful. And so I had lost my grandma, who was like really my tether to any reality. I had lost the person that I was dating who helped a lot with that tether. And then COVID hit shortly after. And then I lost the job that I loved so incredibly dear. I mean, it was at that point, it was my personality. So I pretty much lost like the three pillars that I felt like were holding me up.
And then COVID just was traumatizing for everyone, honestly.
Yeah, and then I wasn't allowed to leave the house.
Yeah. Then you're like, okay, here's like life that's going to be completely different on top of three now huge changes.
Yeah, it was not fun. I don't think it was fun for me, and I don't think it was fun for the people that I spent the most of my time with, because I was not myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so that all happened, and I don't know kind of what y'all's, well, Nina, I know you, but Caroline, I don't know what your experience with grief is or kind of how you've managed it in the past. But for me, it feels like anxiety times 1,000, where you just have this energy in your body and you just have to get it out. And if you don't get it out, it will destroy you. And you just you have to do something. And so I remember I was cleaning
it's unbearable. Out. It's just like an unbearable.
It's unbearable.
Yeah,
it feels like if you don't move, you will catch on fire.
Oh.
And so I just needed to do something. And I remember I was cleaning out my grandma's house at one point, and I had found a bunch of my grandpa's stuff. My grandpa was an engineer. He was a brilliant man. He loved working with his hands. He loved building things. He was just a very curious dude. And I found a bunch of his tools. Didn't check them out to see if they were safe. I just put them in my car and took them home. And everyone was starting these projects in COVID, and I remember I just wanted bookshelves. I just wanted floor-to-ceiling bookshelves. That's all I wanted. That was like, to me, if you had floor-to-ceiling bookshelves with every book on it that you've ever read, then you were living. I don't know why, but that's just what I thought.
And I remember it was a symbol.
It was a symbol, yeah.
No, I know. I feel that.
They were, I don't know. To me, it was just like such a statement piece. And I remember Kat at the time, I'm sure she's listening. Hey, girl. She was dating John, and John was over. And I had mentioned, I was like, one day I'm going to have someone come and build me floor to ceiling bookshelves. I'm going to put every book I've ever read on it. And John was like, just do it now. And I don't know why. I think it was kind of similar to the just don't think, just do. And I was like, you're so honestly right. And so I lugged all of my grandpa's tools out of my car. I mean, they hadn't been used in probably at least a decade, maybe more. Like, I didn't change the blades. I didn't. And I should have. To anyone listening who's interested in starting to woodwork, please do it safely. I did not.
No, you were riding on
figuring it out.
instinct. You were
I was
riding
running
on just like
instinct and fumes. Like,
Yeah.
that was it.
God. Hey, amazing things come out of that place because there's no room to think. Like you said,
No.
it's
It's
unbearable.
raw.
So it's just so raw. It's so raw. You're so right.
And I remember John being like, I'll help you build them. And I was like, thanks, but no thanks. I've got this idea and I think I'm good now. And I went to Home Depot. I bought a bunch of lumber. I remember clamping it to, at the time, what was our pong table at the Ivy House. It was like one of those plastic party tables, not safe for any sort of power tools. And I just kind of weighed all the boards down and just took this saw from 1994 and just hoped for the best. And it worked out. It took a couple trial and errors, and I ended up building like an 8-foot tall, 4-foot wide floor to ceiling bookshelf. And I put it in my room, and it was great, and I loved it, and it helped a lot. Just with the grief and this feeling of I need to move, but the idea of moving is also unbearable, and I don't know what to do with my body. I don't know what to do with my energy. I don't know what to do with my mind. I don't know what to do with my words, but I can saw some boards in half, and I can screw them together, and I can make something that at the end of the day I can look at it and say, this is what I did today, and that's great. And I loved it, and I really loved it. And I think from there, it kind of just became more of like something that I would turn to, not so much once I got over the grief and the feelings of that. It turned into something more that I could turn, like, if I just felt like I needed a creative outlet, or I just felt like I needed something more in my life, I could do that. But it has been less ever since that. Once I finished those bookshelves, which were average at best, I
held the books.
They held the books,
They
and to be
held
honest,
the books.
they held me for a long time.
That's right. That's
Like,
right.
They're much more than bookshelves.
I just
But don't look too close.
and to be honest, it was shocking that they even stood up straight, because I had I knew I did zero research. I'm extremely bad at math. I've always been extremely bad at math, which is a tricky thing for a woodworker, because
it's not an easy, first of all, you didn't start with like, I'm going to make a little box and then the door is going to close and it's going to be simple or whatever. You made a big ass heavy.
She built a bar before she built cutting boards.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Started
Like,
at the
start
cutting board.
small.
She
Like, you
started
went-
with a bar.
Right.
Yeah, it's
which is so you.
I zoomed, but then I ended up zooming in. But it was kind of like the just don't think, just do. And I was like, you're
gonna figure it out.
just gonna
You had to,
figure it out.
Put your attention, your energy into something, and I think that's like so cool, because it is like the physicalness of like all these feelings and like wherever, and just like putting it into something like that. That's like this like tactile, tangible. You had like symbols attached with it. Like, it's so symbolic. The whole thing, the whole story.
Yeah, and it's just, it was something. It was something, and it was better than laying in bed and wallowing.
Well, in that moment, you created an energetic outlet, like all this energy, emotion stirring, right? You carved a path to go, hey, you can flow down here and we can go do this. And it's the same, extreme situation, intense grief, but it's similar to, you're sitting all day and then you're getting worked up about things, and then you go work out, or you go paint something, or you go work on some project that's fulfilling you. The like commonality is that like energy is going, you give it a path, the energy goes through the path, and then it supports something that fulfills your soul, your purpose in some way, and then it's reciprocal that it comes back to you, and then you like create this system of like this like kind of like self-sustaining system where like, oh, I can put the energy here, I don't know. I just think that's such like a catalyst moment. I'll never forget those bookshelves. I mean, they are iconic. And like
No,
what they did for you too. I mean, I'm grateful for them. Like
me
you helped my
too.
best friend.
Me too. And I remember, because it wasn't really a secret to anyone in our friend group that I was having a tough time. And I remember
she was like so mean too. And
Yeah.
like you should be.
No,
I love you mean.
Yeah, I was.
You're never mean. I love you mean. But you were like you were like a dragon. Like
No,
you got too close. You were like, oh,
evil. I was just. I mean, I learned a lot. It's one of those things where it's like if your whole life is recorded and you could go back and rewatch everything, like I would skip over that part, I think, even now.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm proud of the person that I became at the end. I'm not proud of who I was in the moment. Necessary, good learning experience, but
you have range.
I mean, that's for damn sure, you know. But I don't know. I think, to be honest, I've always kind of been a hobby girl. Nothing is stuck as much as woodworking has. But I mean, in high school, I'm sure I had a bunch of weird ones. But in college, remember when I did that skydiving thing for like 4 months?
Yeah, but that was you being an adrenaline junkie. I mean, I guess you're right. Like you had the energy build up and you put it into something. She would literally was on the path to getting skydive certified to do it by herself. Didn't you do it by yourself a couple times?
I would call that a hobby.
I did like 4 solo dives, and then I ran out of money. And then now that I have money, my frontal lobe is fully developed, and I'm not interested in doing that again. But
she would like leave the house, and I would just be sitting there like, oh my god,
that's so stressful. That is the most stressful thing I've ever heard.
Like what? But there was an adrenaline junkie aspect of it.
Totally,
where you were like there was a high. You were getting something from it.
Okay, I don't want to stay on this too long because we have to stay on course, but when me and Nish were in Palm Springs, we sat at the bar next to these two guys, and they were telling us, because a lot of people in Palm Springs, I think, skydive, like must be like a place where you can do it, whatever, a lot of open space and all this stuff. They were saying like there's a lot of psychology behind skydiving, the adrenaline, the high, like there's so much there. Like it's more than just the adrenaline. There's like this like. And so I want to try it to see what they were saying, because they're like, before you go, you can't understand the feeling.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I don't know. Like, you always think, oh, I would never skydive. But then, like, I heard it directly from someone who had such a pitch about it. And I was kind of like, maybe I should try it.
You know, I think you should. I think, like, if you were to go, you'd be strapped to somebody who's been doing it forever. You guys, right. Nina, have you ever been? I think you should both go.
No.
Oh, God, I just can't imagine doing it, though. I'm like...
But the cool thing is like, if you go, you'll go with an instructor, and all you have to do is get on the plane and do nothing else.
Just stay alive.
And you could even close your eyes, because at that point, you're strapped to them. They'll jump for you.
What does it feel like?
I don't even know how to compare it to anything else. It feels genuinely like a dream. Like, you know, when you have those dreams where you jolt yourself awake?
Yeah.
It feels like that, except you don't have the scary portion of jolting yourself awake. It's just, it is.
Whoa.
It's wild. It's wild. And to be totally honest, I don't know what kind of psychology is involved in like the depth perception, but you can't really see the ground. So your brain kind of like tricks you into thinking that it's not that scary, because it's like you can't see how high you are, because I mean, I feel like after
you can't. I mean, think about sitting in a plane.
Yeah,
you look out the window, it's not scary. Even though you're safe inside the plane, I feel like even if the window's open, I'd be like, cool. Like, there's nothing to like. It's just like its own plane, or it's like its own.
If you start thinking about it, I feel like the skydive thing, like there's no room to think, and so that's I don't know.
No, yeah, they don't give you a choice.
Just do. You're out there.
It's such highs and lows. Like it's intense fear, and then intense adrenaline, and then this, and then intense euphoria
Chemicals
afterwards.
Are pumping.
I would have to sleep for like 7 days afterwards.
And you might.
Like one full moon takes me out for like 2 weeks.
I'm assuming it's like taking a like Molly or something. You're like scared to take it, then you take it and you're all happy, and then you come down. I don't know. Like,
no, it's kind of. I mean, kind of similar. I mean, it's That I will say the free fall is very short, and then you pull the parachute, and then the parachute is so relaxing. Like Nina, you've done
I've done
is it like
paragliding in Brazil. Which
Yeah.
is literally you have the parachute behind you and you have the instructor and then you literally run off a mountain.
I know we did that together.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was crazy. But I don't know. I mean, I think there have been different phases of life. Like I tried piano a couple years ago and it was fun for like a month. And I sent Nina like a random mashup of songs that I did and then I was over it. But woodworking has kind of always stuck.
Well, that's like it's ADHD, it's the creative in you. Like you
Yeah.
have the
Yeah.
thing, but that's why I think the woodworking thing stands out to me, obviously, but it's because like you've always been into hobbies and things, but this thing, I don't know if it was the time in your life that it came in. I don't know if it was the bookshelf or the symbol or anything, but the way it stuck and the way that you have leaned on this thing and it's become a pillar of support in your life, like the bookshelf. Like you became the bookshelf in a way where like you started moving throughout life, and then when things get hard, like you get to go work on something, or if you're too much on your mind, like you're learning a new technique and then picking up a new skill. I just think it's so beautiful. Like I want everyone to be able to experience that to some degree with something that resonates with them. Like we don't need a bunch of woodworkers out here, but actually, you know what? Maybe we do.
Maybe we do.
It
I
won't
think
be
the
me,
art is
but
dying. So I think
Right.
Hayley's going to start a revolution from this episode.
I mean, maybe. I think trades are due for a comeback soon.
They
here.
are.
Oh, for sure.
I think as a kid, like you think, like when they're like, what do you want to do when you're older? And everyone has a different thing. But like I could only imagine like doing something with my hands, and like that's all I could think of. Everything else was just like, what? So I think it's like more in our nature, because think about our actual true nature of like what we're prime, like it's everything's with hands, whether it's like you're homemaking or you're getting the food, like it's all this like hand participation in like
single focus
creating.
too. Like
Yeah.
you're focusing on the one thing in front of you. A skill that
Like we're
develops.
fucked now with the phones in the city, like all the stimulus, the cars, like that's so far from like what we're supposed to be doing. So it makes sense that, I mean, we can't avoid it. We're too far gone. But like if you could have something you can come back to, whether it would be woodworking or painting, or I know when people are into pottery, it's a similar thing, like to get with the wheel and just like be there making it, and then it's like the starting point, and then the fire, like the creation and the firing and then the glazing and the painting, like there's all these steps. And I feel like there's like satisfaction in that too, because it's like actually there's like order to it. So like I'm sure the bookshelf was a different experience than like a few years in when you're making different things, like, and kind of knowing the steps and how you're going to get there, but then like you can do something different every time. I don't know, there's something satisfying about that.
It is. And I think like at the end of the day, there are things that are tried and true, right? It's like you hear about stories from hundreds and hundreds of years ago and you're like, oh, they were a blacksmith, or they were they worked with clay, and they were, they did pottery, or they were a woodworker. No, all those things still exist versus like think about 100+ years from now and someone's like, yeah, they were a data cloud engineer. You're like, what the fuck does that mean?
No, it's
so rough.
So rough. It's rough out here.
but I mean, at the end, and it's funny because at the end of the day, it's like I do also work in software, and so like there is a whole part of my life that is completely intangible and will always be intangible. And I think that it makes the tangible hobbies better.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in. I don't want to steer the ship, Nina, so get me on course, but I do have a like
steered away. You are a host here, woman.
You are a captain. Come on now.
Okay, you are a captain.
I just feel like for me, like what I could learn from Hayley is like I was always like artistic and like did art in high school, and like it's just like a big part of kind of some of the things that like you're describing of like during hard times, like going to that, just like that's how Louis Vega was created. Like I was having a really hard year and it was COVID, and my mom was kind of like, let's get the paints out or whatever. And the problem for me is like, even, I don't know, like I think in high school, like because I also had straight A's, like I don't think anyone was like, oh, you're going to go to art school and then sell your art. So like when I was doing it, it was more from just like a pure place, because I was thinking business school, I'll go, I don't know, I was pushed to kind of go more into business. And now that I'm actually like using my art for business, I think between like all the other hard things that have happened in the last 5 years, like maybe it's not just this, but I guess I'm struggling with like the hobby becoming business. So it's like if
Yeah.
Hayley quit her job and only did woodworking and then had to sell everything, like does it change the like, do you know what I mean? Does it change
I
the
do.
passion and
Yeah.
showing
That
up for
was
the
like
hobby?
that was the literal topic of Haley and I went on a date, and that was like a literal topic. Cause I'm like, make the Instagram, put it on Etsy. I can help you with this. Like I'm like
Yeah,
automatically
yeah.
like branding her.
I do it
and
to all my friends. Like I have some
yes,
artistic
I know.
talented
No,
friends. I'm like, well, can we make stationery? Can we make wrapping
Yeah.
paper? Can we make ottomans? And I'm like, Caroline,
no, I'm like annoying.
just let
I'm annoying
them
with
be
it.
an artist.
And
Like,
and I
Seriously.
think like, but genuinely, Caroline, to answer your question, yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Mhm.
And I think that it has been a topic and a huge fear because it's been something that has given me a lot of solace and a lot of creative outlet, and I don't
Mhm.
want it to turn into a business that I don't like running.
Right.
You know, and I
Right.
think it has been a process of, I mean, maybe it will turn into a business one day, maybe not. Maybe I just make gifts for friends and gifts for myself, and that's enough. Genuinely,
Yeah,
that's
So
enough
yeah.
for
awesome.
me.
Delicious.
And I had to even like I've went through recently what I was laid off late September
Mhm.
at my tech job, and just very recently got a new job. I haven't even started yet. So it's like about 4 months of unemployment, and I really leaned into just finding things that brought me joy. And
Mhm.
I would have to remind myself frequently, like, this is for fun, because I would find
Mhm.
myself with zero paycheck, zero orders, zero business, like in the shed, stressed about building a gift that no one even asked for. And I'm like, why? This is for fun. This is for
Yeah,
fun.
I mean, this is such a like thing I think about. Like when I have a friend or someone who takes some time off from something, like whether they're in between jobs or they're taking a vacation or I don't even know, whatever it is, you're taking time off. Everyone feels so bad about it. Like
Yeah.
no one can enjoy it. And it's the biggest shame because I don't think that 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, like maybe not everyone, there's like a lot of pressure and to provide and like all these things that are just a part of it, but like the way our generation feels like this pressure, it's like that's what's missing though, like these gaps where
Yeah.
you can do that. And like of course like it's a privilege on some level, but I also think there's ways in which people could like create space in that,
Yeah.
like even without like the job gap or whatever it looks like to do that. But it's just so hard. You're like, it's like when you feel guilty for sleeping in. It's like it's a small example, but it's like really your
Yeah.
body needed to sleep. So just
Mhm.
fucking sleep, man. Like it's just like this whole thing. It's like, okay, you can't overdo it. You can't sleep in every day and like never get up and never do the things you want to do. But like sometimes your body and your brain are telling you something, and like that this little like few months you got off, like it is just like it's a gift. But like I can imagine when it's happening, you're like, what could I be doing to fill that like these other things,
100%.
it's just so
Yeah.
tricky. And like I think a lot of people could relate to that.
And I think too, like, even, I mean, it was a constant, like an everyday reminder of like, I I have savings. I
Mhm.
do not need a job immediately. I
Mhm.
have, not that I needed it, but I have permission from myself. I have permission from my fiance, who also has a paycheck, who was like, do your thing for a couple months. Like, it's
Yeah.
not a problem. Like, we
Right.
are fine. And again, not that I needed it, but it was a nice reassurance of like, he's not mad at me. I'm not mad at me. I, my bills are
You're like,
paid.
but where is this coming from then?
Yeah,
It's
but
so
then I'm like looking around, I'm like, someone has to be mad at me. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, someone
It's
has to
deep.
be upset about this. And the reality is like, nobody was. Like, all of my friends were happy that I got some time to chill. Like, I spent some time just kind of like leaning in to the parts of woodworking that I either didn't know very well that I wanted to know more, or that I just enjoyed learning and wanted to learn more about it. And I think, Caroline, for you too, of like kind of finding the crux between, is this a hobby or is this a business or is this both? And if it is
Mhm.
both, what does that look like? I think it's, if you want to keep the passion and the joy, I think you just continue to lean into the things that I'm like, what would not business Caroline want to do? Because
Yeah.
business Caroline will figure out a business. for whatever it is that you want to do. But it's
Yeah, that's a
what
good
is
point.
creative Caroline lean into? What is she
Yeah.
fueled by? And just go do that, because if there's a
Taylor, you're
business
so
there, a
It'll come.
business Caroline will figure that part out.
Yeah, or like thinking about with my designs, like so a tricky thing is like, oh, I got to come up with a new collection and I'm really overdue, so I'm stressed out about that and thinking of like, oh, the vibe. Sometimes you shoot yourself in the foot of thinking of the vibe first, opposed to just creating things, and then from those creations, like you said, business Caroline will figure out what to do with them.
Totally.
That's where the magic is at. It's not about planning it or looking at things too far in advance and then trying to create from that place of sales. It just doesn't work. Like Nina and I have seen it. It doesn't work. I've tried it. It doesn't work. We've seen other people try it. It doesn't work. So it is just like, yeah, it's interesting. And I feel like really inspired by hearing you talk about this, because like that's when I look back on my childhood and high school and college, like those are the times where I'm the happiest or I'm the saddest, and I get out of the sad moment from doing this stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, wait, Hayley, you just spat like
Some
the
good
way
shit.
no, I feel like my brain just like opened up to the universe. But in society, we're taught like your creative side gets the back burner. That's where you, if you got free time at the end of the day, 20 minutes, your logical side leads the path, right? Like that's the thing. That's the thing that I always like, it's not natural, but I always end up like resorting to out of habit. But you're
Yeah.
right. You're supposed to let like that, the creative, the child, like the inner, the dreamer within you, whatever, carve the path. And then like, it's like when you're like in parenting, you let the kid go and you're falling closely behind, like, making sure they don't fall, like whatever. But that's so true, is that anytime I have the mindset where I have the creative and like the driver's seat, and then the like business mind and the more logical mind kind of creating the environment to create in, that's where the magic happens. Because
Yeah.
if the logical person wants to put me in a box, wants to be like, you just do wallpaper, you just do this, like it's like it's cut and dry. And then the creative in me is like, no, you can create a world. You can talk about fashion. You can talk about wallpaper. You can incorporate like you can create a whole new thing. Like this can be about beauty and about fashion and about things that light you up. And then also about design and like the elements of design. And it can also be about like, and then it just kind of opens it up. And then the ideas fire off. Logical side comes in and goes, okay, we're going to go with this, and this. This is going to
Totally.
create a good story. Then we're going to put that out. But like, that's so true.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
God.
I mean, art isn't supposed to be logical. And
I
that's
know.
that is your
Or
it's
for
your
results.
freedom. Yeah, it's your
It's the
freedom
results
from all
driven.
of that.
Yes.
Like think about another good example of this that like would be good to study if you're interested in like this topic, would be like, I don't know, interviews or documentaries or what you could look at, but like I could assume like musicians and like singers and dancers and and people that are, make movies and actors, all these creatives that like put out a performance, like if they're pushed down this like performance driven, who I think has been talking about this a lot actually is Halsey.
Yeah.
She got pushed down this thing from her label. Like, that's is what they do. They take these people that are like raw natural talents that are successful from like making music in their fucking closet. And then they take them and they're like, okay, you have to perform like these ways and create this type of music by this deadline. And if you don't, we're going to drop you or X, Y, and Z. And it's like the Billie Eilishes of the world who are like, fuck you, I'm just going to make music with my brother till the end of time. Like everything they make is literally just like their own creation, and it's just always good because it's just, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're not in a box. They don't have to be in a box.
They don't have to be in a box. So it's like that just is what we get pushed into, even when you don't even know it's happening, and it's very tricky. So like coming back to this concept of creating just to create, I mean, it's just like obviously cliche, but like I do think that's where the magic of everything is, like mostly for your mental health. And then if you do want to take something to a business, I think it does well because it came from that place first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think from an art perspective, from a business perspective, honestly, from an whatever perspective, I think in order for something to be good, and I'm not talking like, you can write a business report and not give a shit about it, and it could be good if you just really lock in. But like in order for like something creative to be good, you have to care. If you don't, like it's very clear very quickly if you do not care. and everything else falls into place, right? Like I kind of fell into the same thing of I was like, okay, well, I'll do some woodworking. And I was stressed by my, I guess, imaginary boss in the shed of like making me saying that whatever I was making
Caroline's
wasn't good
Phillip.
would or fast
Seriously.
enough. And like I would have to constantly remind myself, like, this is for fun. What do I want to do for fun? And I took a woodworking class and I learned a couple new skills and I thought that was really cool. So I went home and I tried to kind of fine tune those, and things kind of just started popping up based on those new skills that I learned. And you know, it just little by little, I started making smaller things. I went from 8-foot tall bookshelves to cutting boards and nightstand caddies and just, you know, just smaller things, coat racks. And from there, I built some confidence and I felt really good about what I was building. And they were small and they were easy. I could make them in a day or two. And then, you know, my fiance noticed that I was gaining some confidence about it. He built me a logo. He got me a logo stamp to put on my things, which is like another big business thing where it's like business brain wasn't thinking about that, but it came along because I had the passion and I had the want to do it, and everything else kind of just would fall in line. You
It was
know,
organic.
yeah, like Nina asked if, you know, people could bring snacks to the Christmas party. So I was like, yeah, I'll bring charcuterie. I'll put them on the boards that I built. And then, you know, I brought them over. I don't even remember if I told you beforehand, but I was like, I built them with the intention to leave them there for you and Sam. And
Yeah,
so
we use them all the time.
yeah, and I love that. And it makes me so happy. But just like little things. And you know, bit by bit, it's like I still don't have a business. I still never made the Instagram. I don't know if I ever will. I don't know if I want to. But like I have a logo and I have friends that are using my cutting boards. And for now, that is honestly perfectly fine.
Yeah. There you go.
And it's a good just it's a good way to connect with people that you might never connect with otherwise. And I think that is the same for almost any art.
Yeah.
You know, I was in a final interview a couple weeks ago at a company where I went into the office. I had nothing prepared. I was honestly terrified because I had gotten a bunch of no's from a bunch of final interviews previously. And the guy was just like, kind of tell me about yourself. And we started chatting, and he was a woodworker as well. And we chatted about that for 45 minutes. And then they called me the next day and were like, gave me the job. We didn't talk about work. We didn't talk about business. We didn't talk about my qualifications.
There you go.
We just talked about things that we cared about. And I think that no matter what that is, whether that's reading or writing or, you know, painting or drawing, I think that you can't fake it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that in the like example of pop stars who get put in boxes, like I think they become quote unquote overrated because it's so incredibly obvious that they were forced in a box and now they're faking it.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, I mean, say what you want about Taylor Swift. I can't by any means say I'm a Swiftie. I respect the hell out of her. Her music's not necessarily my flavor, but like, goddamn, she was never put in a box.
They
That's
tried.
right.
You know?
It's her.
They tried.
She drew her own box.
Yeah. It's not necessarily the box for me, but like I respect that box.
That's what I've said forever too. I'm like, it's not my music. Gosh, like, clearly it works for a reason, and it stems from that.
Yeah.
Well,
so
it's
true.
like the reaction too, like the way people respond to it. Like it's like so soul. You know what I mean? Like it's like whatever is happening there is like it's like all these like soul connections. It's not surface level.
It brings
never
people
talking about
together.
very much. It's like it's borderline a religion at this point. So
people don't want to hear this. People that don't like her aren't going to want to hear this, but she's connected to something.
For sure.
We all are, but like I'm genuinely like, how do you do that? Like that is like on a different level. She's bringing people together from ages of 3 years old to 90 years old that are like, do you know what I'm saying? Like there's just something bigger happening that she's tapped into. And I'm sure even me don't love her music. I'm sure if I went to a concert, I would have chills the whole time because it's like
100%.
the energy of everyone,
yes.
right? It's like, holy shit. And that doesn't happen, I think, from being in someone else's box. That happens from the care, like clearly the care, the passion, and in her like carving her own way. So it's like, how do you not respect the hell out of that? Like,
I mean, you can't. I mean, her music, doesn't have to be for you.
Exactly.
I do like Fate of Ophelia. That one's a pretty good one off of her new album.
Oh,
But
I
other
mean,
than that,
listen,
you know,
she
whatever.
has bangers. She has
a few bangers.
Totally.
Yeah, I'll sing along too.
But it's like you can't get a crowd going like that unless you're passionate
No.
about what you're singing. And how are you passionate about what you're singing? Because you wrote the song. And why did you write the song? Because you experienced it and you felt these feelings. And it's like from step by step by step by step, she
Did the
was
whole
in
thing.
it. She was in it, you know? And I think it's the same for an art or an art that turns into a business. Of like, if you don't feel forced into a box, like I think you just do let creative portion of you do what creative portion of you wants to do.
Yeah.
And business portion of you can think it's shit. They probably will, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
but
or overthink it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Caroline have this joke where like anytime we have to get shit done, like, do you remember when we named our manager Philip?
Phil.
So Philip is like the total logical sign of, he lives within my head 24/7 and Caroline's, but like it's like anytime we have to like get shit done or there's a deadline, but I'm like, oh God, Philip, breathing down my goddamn neck, like I'm trying to get it done, dude. Like, what do you want from me?
Lay off.
I'm the talent. What do you want from me?
No, so hard to please that Philip.
God, yeah, but you know what? He keeps us on timelines.
Yeah, he does. He's right there.
He's right there. Oh my gosh. I love your story. I love your message. Yeah, I mean, you're a muse like through and through. You're such a person that I can come home to, if that makes sense.
Ninny, anytime.
You guys are really cute
you.
besties. I'm so happy to meet you, Hayley.
Caroline, likewise. I genuinely, next time you're in Atlanta, please.
Yeah, we're partying.
For the love of God, text me.
Partying. Hey, Caroline.
I was like,
Let's
okay.
go.
I mean, if we want party Caroline, that's fine. I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
up for anything.
I'll do whatever you want.
The party just means like, some people say that, like, let's just party. Like, it could be a party, but it also just means like energetically, let's
go to dinner, eat some good food, and have a drink.
Exactly.
That's
really what I mean.
Well,
that's really how we party these days, anyways.
Book a flight.
Yeah,
preferably soon. If not, then like I can call you a bunch.
Yeah,
we can.
We're gonna be friends. We're gonna be friends for real.
I would love for you guys to be friends.
Truly love that.
We need to like go do something. Like I'll get my best friend Kate in on this too, and just do like a girls' best friends brunette trip.
Do it.
Down.
That could
Absolutely
be so
down.
fun.
We go to Charleston or something.
Hales, before we do a send off, I just want to ask you like a final question or like an advice question.
Sure.
If someone was in your shoes right now, going through the level of grief that you were going through, what would you say to them? Or what advice would you give?
I would say so completely earnestly, you have to trust the people that have shown you that you can trust them. You have to talk to them. You have to believe that you can lean on them. Because I think that's something that I did not do very well. And I really thought I could handle it on my own. And to be honest, plot twist, I could not. And I think that led to a lot of emotions that I didn't necessarily need to have. And I would say to anyone who is going through that level of grief, or really any level of grief, of like, you know, in your heart of hearts who your people are, use them. Use them when you cannot rely on your own mindset and your own thoughts in your own head, because a lot of like when you're in that kind of space, you probably can't trust the thoughts in your own head, but you should be able to trust the people around you. And if they've shown you who they are and you know who they are in their soul, use them.
You don't have to do it alone.
No, and you shouldn't.
Yeah, that's been a theme of Caroline and I talking recently.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about that the last few months.
It's tough.
Don't white knuckle it. It's tough.
It's tough because it's like we're all so badass, right? And it's like we could do it on our own, but you really shouldn't.
You really shouldn't. And I think that if you can, I have a lot of resistance to it too, Hayley. And I think that like I've caused a lot more suffering for myself looking back on a lot of experience. And sometimes it was necessary. Sometimes people weren't showing up for me when I needed them to, or wasn't working or whatever. And then that resiliency made me stronger. I'm like, wow, I made it through that alone. But then sometimes you get to a point where you go, okay, now you're doing this to yourself. And you're also not allowing people to be there for you when they want to be.
Yeah.
And just because it doesn't look exactly one way, you know, if you have 6 really trustworthy people in your life, like I've realized recently, like each one of those 6 are there for me, or like are so comforting for different reasons.
Mhm.
And so it's like whatever the hiccup is, like I know who to call out of the 6, and it changes throughout the months and the years. And like I think I kind of was like, oh, I need someone to I don't know what I thought. It was just like a stubbornness, or like no one's going to get it, an isolation thing. And now I'm like a little bit into some of my own stuff lately, where I'm like, whoa, what a difference
Yeah.
it makes to like really not be alone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's the whole of like, it takes a village.
Yeah, it's real.
You have to be a villager to have a village. And
Mhm.
like, what an honor it is to sit in the mud with somebody, you
Yeah,
know,
so
especially
true.
when it's one of your closest friends or significant other or whoever that might be, of like giving a trusted friend the honor to sit in the mud with you is everything, you know? And I think I learned that too late. I think I learned that
Same.
after some like
Without a shadow of a
extremely
doubt.
excruciating, like after the fact, I was like, damn, that would have been so sick if I had my friends there with me. And they were
Yeah.
like,
Oh
meanwhile,
my
they were
God.
banging down the doors. And I was like, no, let me just figure this
It
out.
just takes time, though. It's like a trust
Yeah.
thing. It's like you
And
grow up
sometimes
with, you know.
it's okay if you don't even have the language. You can just go up to someone and be like,
Yeah.
your
Just sit
friends are
with
gonna
me.
get. Yeah, literally. Like
I've
you don't
even
need to
noticed,
have.
too,
That
like
was the hardest thing for me, is I like would be in a state of suffering, and I couldn't even find the language of communicating that to somebody, and then that would cause
No.
me to like spiral. And sometimes it's as much as like, can we watch a movie tonight?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just a yoo-hoo. Like,
Yeah.
that's all you need. You don't have to admit how down you are. You don't have to like actually
No.
say the words. You can just be like, hey, come
Yeah.
over.
That's right. And I think, too, it's like if your nervous system's whacked out from grief or stress or whatever's going on, I think that like if you can be around some people that are like in a good place in their life and their nervous system is a little bit more calm, like there's a real way that we co-regulate, like
Yeah.
Yes.
even outside of romantic partnerships, like with a friendship, or like it could be like, you know, my best friend and her family, like they're just very like comforting to me, and like we could be just doing the most random thing. It's not about me telling them like every bad thing happening in my life. I'm just there, and then I feel better about that thing just from experiencing the regulation. And I think that like that's something to look for, where it's like doesn't always have to be this verbal like dump or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it could just be this physical energy thing where, yeah, you're watching a movie or you're whatever. It's just like really
Doing
important.
a puzzle together. We did a lot of
Yes.
puzzles.
Yeah. But it's like you just have to let them, you got to let them in. Whether
You gotta let
that's
'em in.
like, that looks like letting them just sit next to you and not say a
Mhm.
word, or just talking to them or whatever that might be. But yeah, that is one thing that I really wish I had learned earlier.
Well, now you know.
Now I know. And I can't say I'll necessarily do it that much better next time, but hopefully at least a little.
Well, you're on the record, so now people
Yeah.
are going to be showing up if you ever need them. They're going to force you.
Well, luckily our friend group is so genuinely perfect that like
Yeah, you
I
guys
don't
have
have
a special thing
choice.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like if
you
my
don't have a choice.
if my friends know that I'm going through something and I don't answer the phone for more than 12 hours, like they have keys to my home. Like they'll be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I love that. Hales, I love you. I'm so proud
love
of you.
you.
And
Thank
I love
you.
being
I
your
love you
friend.
guys.
It's like the greatest honor of my life.
Ditto. I really love you so much. It has been, I mean, God, the seasons we've been through. And I'm so proud of you both. Genuinely, this podcast rocks. I'm honored to be on it. This has been so fun. And I don't know, I just can't wait to see what you guys do.
Thanks for coming on. Truly is like, this was special.
This rocks.
Yeah,
Also,
so
as a
fun.
closing note, do you want to see how tall Birdie is?
Yes.
Yes.
So Birdie is
please.
my birds of paradise. She's really outgrown this room. So
Whoa.
hold on. As a reference, I'm 5'3" on a good day, like 5'2" ish.
Honestly,
I
so
said-
healthy though. Like
No,
that's such a healthy
she-
plant. Like I
she
can't keep plants
loves-
alive.
Well, hold on. Rats. Hold on.
It's giving Rachel Dratch.
I know. Yeah, no, she's extremely happy. She has poached all the sunlight from this room, so every other plant is dead.
She's a
Oh,
murderer.
she sucked it all in.
That one's fake.
Mhm.
That one is dying. There's one hidden in the corner that is fully dead. I had to throw away another one. There was a different one right there earlier today, but I threw it away before the podcast because it was so dead. But Birdie doesn't care. And you know what? I respect that.
Birdie doesn't give a damn. She's the moon,
No.
Caroline. She's the damn
Yeah,
moon.
she is the fucking moon.
She is on her beating to the beat of her own drum, doing what she needs to do.
She's standing tall and strong, sucking everything in her. Sucking it all up.
Truly. I think she's 8.5 feet tall at this point.
Okay, and for our
And on
next
that
episode,
note-
we're gonna climb Birdie.
Yeah, and I'll actually just keep the headphones and mic set and everything, and she'll be your next guest. Has a lot to say.
She's seen a lot.
She's seen a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, ask her.
Are you in an office? It's a cute little room.
Yeah, this is my little it was the mudroom of her house. But it's my little at-home office, and I've got Birdie, and then all of my bookshelves that are actually just Will's old dresser that I took apart, and they're the faces of his old drawers.
I love that.
And then this is Peel and Stick from Amazon. I love you both, and I should have used y'all's wallpaper, but I did Amazon Peel and Stick, and then I got so sick of it, so I didn't finish it up there. So I kind of just angle my camera. And then,
Oh my gosh.
And then here's a bunch of shit.
Didn't you build that all the books are on?
Yes, I didn't write any of the books, but I did build that, and then some of my mom's art, and then my grandpa's bowling thing that I turned into a memory box.
That's
It's
cute.
really just a treasure trove of shit. And then I've got my great grandpa's vending machine or slot machine right there.
Cool.
That is
That is so cool.
nickels
What the
only.
hell?
It's like from
Nickels only.
1917 or something. Treasure trove of weird
Nickels
shit in
only.
here.
Oh my god, I'm obsessed.
I
right.
need the name of this episode, Nickels only.
Nickels only.
Nickels only. Oh my god, Hales, obsessed with you. I think you're amazing. And thank you for coming on.
You'll come. Yeah,
Thank
you'll
you
have to
for
come
having
back.
me. I
'cause
would
we'll
love
just-
to.
We'll just have to. I don't know. Keep talking. This is good chat.
Yeah,
I love it.
we'll do a hangout, and then we can.
and then we'll really fire.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you for
I
having
fucking
me.
love it. Yeah, thanks.
I
for
love you
coming.
both.
Love
Caroline, it
you.
was so nice to meet you.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, C.